The movie begins with the introduction of Sheree, a young single mother working diligently as a secretary. We see Sheree in a conversation with the HR manager of her company, where she voices her concerns about several female employees who have mysteriously gone missing. The HR manager, however, dismisses her worries, claiming that these disappearances are merely tactics aimed at defaming the firm. This scene subtly sets a foreboding tone, as we observe various women working in the office, hinting that they might be connected to the disappearances. As Sheree leaves work, her routine is disrupted by an urgent and frantic phone call from her boss, James. He accuses her of a grave error, scheduling his anniversary dinner with his wife and an important business dinner with a major client on the same evening. Sheree is baffled, having no recollection of making such a mistake. Despite her reservations, she acquiesces to James's request to represent him at the dinner with the client, a responsibility she accepts with reluctance. Returning home, Sheree prepares for the evening. In the midst of taking a shower, she realizes that her menstrual period has started and she's out of tampons, an added stressor on an already tense day. Her babysitter, who is also her friend, offers her advice for the evening, suggesting that Sheree should dress in something attractive and appealing for the dinner. The client Sheree is set to meet is Ethan, a man with a seemingly charming and captivating manner. Upon arriving at Ethan's house, Sheree is immediately taken in by his charisma. Ethan serves her a drink, and during their conversation, Sheree's attention is drawn to a disturbing detail: a drop of blood on the floor. Discreetly wiping it away with her finger, she requests to use the restroom, a moment that subtly escalates the building tension. The dinner with Ethan unfolds relatively smoothly, with both enjoying a pleasant time until an unexpected incident occurs. A dog suddenly attacks Ethan, triggering an intense and alarming reaction from him. Ethan, overcome with fury, screams at the dog, revealing a glimpse of a more menacing side. He later apologizes to Sheree, attributing his outburst to a traumatic childhood experience involving a dog attack. To lighten the mood, Sheree shows Ethan pictures of her daughter, leading to a moment of bonding as Ethan appreciates both Sheree and her daughter, a seemingly tender moment in an evening that has begun to reveal unsettling undercurrents. The plot continues to build tension after Sheree and Ethan return from dinner to his home. Despite feeling the need to return home and work the next day, Ethan persuades Sheree to have another drink with him. He reassures her by promising to wake her up early, setting an alarm for 6:30 a.m. However, Sheree notices another alarm already set for 5:25 a.m., which Ethan dismisses as an accidental setting. A brief moment of intimacy follows as they kiss, but as Sheree enters the house, Ethan's behavior takes a sinister turn. He stops abruptly, raising his hand towards the camera, then follows her inside, closing the door behind him. Immediately after, Sheree's screams are heard from outside the house. In a harrowing scene, Sheree emerges from the house, crying and visibly injured. She desperately seeks help, running into the night, but her pleas are ignored by passers-by. Eventually, she encounters two women outside a movie theater who respond to her distress by calling 911. Despite Sheree's claims of assault, the police, misinterpreting her condition, arrest her for public intoxication and place her in a cell. In the cell, Sheree meets a woman who reacts with terror upon hearing about Ethan's assault. The woman ominously warns Sheree that Ethan will relentlessly pursue her, especially if she is marked by him. She also advises Sheree to seek help from someone known as the First Lady to save herself. The situation in the cell escalates when the woman suddenly screams, falsely accusing Sheree of attacking her, leading the police to transfer her to another cell. Sheree's nightmare continues when Ethan enters her cell, heightening her fear. He proposes a chilling deal. If Sheree survives the night, he will let her live. Upon her release from the police station, Sheree discovers a flyer featuring a missing woman and a note urging her to contact the First Lady. She decides to take a cab to her boss James's house. The cab driver, noticing her distressed state, mentions that she is not the first woman he has picked up in such a condition. At James's house, her boss appears sympathetic and claims ignorance of Ethan's monstrous actions. His wife, Judy, is visibly shaken as she prepares tea. Despite James's suggestion to call Ethan, Sheree insists against it. Judy's nervous behavior while preparing the tea raises Sheree's suspicions. Sheree's unease grows when she notices Judy's abrupt reaction while cutting a lemon. Seeking privacy, Sheree uses James's office shower. Afterward, she takes the opportunity to search his laptop, where she finds a disturbing pattern: an appointment note for Ethan with her name and similar appointments with various other women's names. Judy then enters, warning Sheree that Ethan can track her by the scent of her blood, advising her to clean herself thoroughly to increase her chances of survival. James enters the room, and Judy covers for Sheree by saying she is just offering her clean clothes. Grateful but anxious, Sheree decides to leave and calls her ex-boyfriend Trey to pick her up, further escalating the suspense of her precarious situation. The suspense escalates as Sheree makes a desperate attempt to escape the clutches of Ethan. Ignoring James's warning about her ex-boyfriend Trey, she hurriedly leaves the building and catches a bus, seeking refuge from her pursuer. On the bus, the empathetic female driver lends Sheree her phone, allowing her to send a distress message to Trey for help. During this brief moment of respite, Sheree's attention is drawn to another missing woman's poster, which again mentions the elusive First Lady. At a gas station, Sheree trades her watch for tampons, a necessary but risky stop given her urgent situation. She heads to a bathroom across the street to use them. Her sense of danger heightens when someone attempts to open the bathroom door. Upon exiting, she is confronted by a horrifying sight: Ethan waiting for her. In a violent encounter, Ethan throws her against a wall and dismissively shakes his head no to a nearby camera. A homeless man nearby hears Sheree's screams but remains passive. The store boy, witnessing the scene, attempts to intervene with his gun, but Ethan's intimidating presence forces him to flee. Sheree seizes the opportunity to escape, hitting Ethan and running away. She meets Trey across the street, who is bewildered by her terrified appearance. Sheree, now seeing danger in every face she encounters, asks to go to Trey's house. She assures Trey that their daughter is safe with a babysitter. Trey informs her that his current girlfriend and Sheree's ex-best friend Dawn is at his house. As they drive, Sheree is startled by a shadow resembling Ethan and is further alarmed by a gunshot sound. Trey steps out to investigate, leaving Sheree alone in the car. He returns, assuring her it was nothing, but Sheree is too shaken to feel relieved. She finally reveals to Trey the nightmarish ordeal with Ethan and their urgent need to leave. Upon arriving at Trey's house, Dawn's initial anger at seeing Sheree dissipates into concern upon witnessing her condition. Inside, Sheree seeks refuge in the restroom to clean herself and requests Trey to buy her tampons. Meanwhile, Dawn's son, Nolan, a tarot card reader, offers to read cards for Sheree. He advises her to find strength and faith, suggesting she should visit a church. The tense atmosphere is shattered when the doorbell rings. It's Ethan, relentlessly hunting for Sheree. Dawn bravely insists on handling the situation, urging Sheree and Nolan to hide in the bathtub. The house is soon filled with the sounds of struggle and gunshots. When Sheree emerges, she is met with a gruesome scene. Dawn and her friends lie dead, and Ethan, unfazed, is enjoying the music. He then forces Sheree to dance with him, a horrifying and chilling moment. Trey returns from his outing, only to be brutally decapitated by Ethan's teeth as he confronts him. Terrified, Sheree flees, with Ethan in pursuit. In a shocking turn, a car hits Ethan in a tunnel, but he miraculously survives. Remembering Judy's warning about Ethan's ability to track her scent, Sheree frantically throws her tampons onto a passing car, hoping to mislead Ethan. He looks down the tunnel, unable to find Sheree, and eventually walks away, allowing her a momentary escape. Seeking sanctuary, Sheree rushes into a nearby church. In her desperation, she approaches the priest, requesting a cross and holy water. She explains her terrifying ordeal with Ethan to the priest, who, in a surprising response, urges her to confess her sins. Confused and frightened, Sheree is taken aback by his suggestion. As they converse, Sheree suddenly realizes she is bleeding, indicating Ethan's imminent approach. She panics, believing Ethan has found her, but the priest reassures her that they are alone. Her relief is short-lived, however, as she stumbles upon a shocking discovery. The real priest lies dead in a pool of his own blood. She turns around, only to find Ethan standing there, much to her disbelief. In a tense confrontation in the church, Sheree bravely faces Ethan, who reveals his true demonic nature. In a moment of desperation, she throws holy water on him, but he only laughs off the attack, mocking her belief in its power. Sheree boldly declares her disbelief in his supernatural presence, prompting Ethan to transform into an even more terrifying demonic form. As he lunges to choke her, the old priest, who had been presumed dead, intervenes, giving Sheree a chance to escape. He directs her to a hidden tunnel within the church walls, sacrificing himself to buy her time. Sheree hurriedly enters the dark, creepy tunnel, haunted by distant screams. She emerges into a starkly different environment, finding herself in a disco with a bathroom nearby. Grasping at this opportunity for respite, she cleans herself thoroughly with bleach wipes, erasing any traces of her blood that Ethan could track. Upon leaving the bathroom, Sheree encounters another flyer of a missing girl, tearing off the section with the First Lady's phone number. She then manages to steal a cell phone and places a call to the mysterious First Lady, seeking help and a meeting. Her departure from the disco is abruptly interrupted when she faces harassment from some goons. Unexpectedly, two cheerful girls rescue her, driving her away in their car. They share a hopeful message that this year is the year of women's empowerment. However, their joy is short-lived as a horrific accident plunges everything into darkness. Sheree survives but finds herself amidst the carnage of the accident, with Ethan ominously approaching her. He threatens her daughter's safety, but a stray dog intervenes, attacking Ethan and causing him to vanish. Sheree, accompanied by the dog, walks in shock towards a mysterious building. Inside, she is welcomed by a woman named Dena, who asks for a sample of Sheree's blood. Dena explains that by mixing Sheree's blood with water and pouring it into the drainage system, Ethan will be misled, smelling her everywhere. Dena reveals her mission to stop Ethan, who was supposed to protect humanity but instead ensured male dominance and oppression of women throughout history. She identifies herself as the First Angel, part of a larger movement to overthrow Ethan's reign of terror. Sheree is hesitant to lure Ethan out again, fearing for her safety and her daughter's. However, Dena persuades her by highlighting the imminent threat Ethan poses to her child. Resolving to take a stand, Sheree prepares for a final showdown. Armed and determined, Sheree heads to an abandoned mall. She strategically places rocks throughout the mall and darkens the windows with black spray paint. To lure Ethan, she reopens her wounds, leaving a trail for him to follow. Suddenly, the mall's lights switch on, and the merry-go-round activates on its own, setting the stage for a climactic confrontation between Sheree and Ethan. In the climax of the story, Sheree faces a harrowing confrontation with Ethan. He suddenly materializes and violently attacks Sheree, smashing her head against a mirror. The impact renders Sheree unconscious, and she slips into a dreamlike state where she is happily playing with her daughter on a merry-go-round, a stark contrast to the nightmare she is enduring. Sheree is jolted from this peaceful dream by Ethan, only to find herself in a nightmarish reality. She has been crucified. In her desperate situation, Sheree notices a rock within reach. She tries to negotiate with Ethan, pleading for her release and feigning surrender. She claims to accept her defeat, suggesting Ethan can have her, hoping to create an opportunity to escape. Ethan, falling for her act, takes her down from the crucifix. As he attempts to be intimate with her, Sheree's focus is on the rock near her foot, her potential weapon for survival. Amidst this tense moment, Ethan's alarm for sunrise goes off, distracting him momentarily. Seizing the chance, Sheree grabs the rock. Ethan quickly reacts, grabbing her hand and accusing her of attempting to deceive him. In a swift move, Sheree uses the rock to break the window, allowing the sunlight to stream in. Ethan recoils from the light, mocking Sheree's attempt to use rocks and sunlight against him. As he tries to choke her, a barrage of rocks thrown by unseen allies smashes through the windows, flooding the room with sunlight. Ethan, exposed to the daylight, begins to suffer intensely, bleeding a black substance from his eyes while screaming in agony and hurling insults at Sheree. With a final burst of strength and determination, Sheree grabs a bucket full of rocks and shatters another window directly in front of Ethan. The influx of sunlight overwhelms him, causing unbearable pain. In a moment of poetic justice, Sheree captures Ethan's painful demise on camera, following the trail of his black blood as he drags himself away. The scene shifts to Dena, who lights a lighter and tosses it onto Ethan's blood trail. The blood ignites, setting Ethan ablaze. His cries of excruciating pain mark the end of his reign of terror. The movie concludes with a scene of solace and reunion. Sheree returns to the babysitter's home where she embraces her baby, symbolizing her return to normalcy and the safety of her child. This moment serves as a powerful testament to Sheree's resilience and courage, having overcome unimaginable horrors to protect herself and her daughter. Did this story spook you out? Let us know in the comments below. For more horror movie recaps, subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next one. Fear awaits you.